He said, you're going to say to your sons, I was fast once. So when you get a present right.
Absolutely.
So I think social responsibilities like that as well.
But you're more balanced in the way you look at things, aren't you? As a human being, because you were I remember when you were a businessman, you were the businessman that Shane was too young.
I was Jack
Carl
Russell.
was not viewed as a go-getter.
Yeah.
You were Jack Russell.
Yeah.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. But,
a very polite one.
No. By the way, and I love Jack Russell's as well because they're always on for crack. But but there was 2 Rottweilers ahead of me, So.
And when you read this quote, I'm going to say something from Edna O'Brien. She says, when
Edna.
anyone asks me about the Irish character, I say, look at the trees, maimed, stark and misshapen, but ferociously tenacious. Does that sound like something you can relate to?
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
She was amazing, wasn't she?
She was. Stunning, looking, talking, and very brave. Some of the things she said.
And, was it Gerber, wasn't it, the husband?
Yeah.
He just couldn't handle that she was a better writer.
Yeah.
But she's beautiful. Have you seen the new movie?
No.
Yeah, I hear everybody raves about it. I saw her once live in Dún Laoghaire, and it was kind of like an evening with Edna. And by the way, she's probably in her 70s at the time. But just...
My father loved her. And he's, 91 now, and he thought that was the greatest thing, way ahead of her time.
Yeah, it's a beautiful quote.
Yeah. And music that takes you back, like the maudlin music, modern music.
No, and I hate the trad and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think that's...
You're not like Uncle Simon then.
No. I think Tony's cassettes at home was like the Clancy brothers were with Aaron Jung. I was thinking about this question on the way in also. So I got into music at school around 15. Then the minute you start working, music is one of the things that goes away. Training and music and so on. But I kind of rediscovered music probably about 10 years ago, and I don't think you can beat the Rolling Stones. And they have a song called it's effectively about being lucky. You can't get everything you want.
Yeah. You can't always get what you want.
Yeah. And I saw that live in London with they very clever now have this gospel choir behind them when the lads can't get the notes and so on. But it's a brilliant song, and we should all remind ourselves we can't get there. And by the way, that night, I think it was the 3 Arena in London, and Jaguar played over the time, and it was out in Greenwich or whatever the area is called.
Yeah, out that way, yeah.
Yeah, out that way, exactly.
The Dome is in between the airport and Greenwich.
Yeah. East London.
East London,
okay.
Yeah.
Keith Richards was having none of it. And you could see the tension between them, Rossa, and everybody missed the tube back. So you had 18,000 people looking for cabs and so on. But I didn't give a rat's. He's amazing.
And now with Aer Dogs, all the things are joined up. Is it that brings, you're going to do another book, or is this to bring all this?
No. We have a little publishing company called Irelandia Press. We have a book coming out soon about saunas. I love the whole idea of publishing and so on. I'm learning how tough it is.
Yeah.
It's genuinely very tough. Aer Dogs is because I kept the head down for a long time. But if you keep your head down, Rossa, it's like a family. If the mum and dad are humble, everybody else is humble. If they're entitled. So we kept the head down, but I was having dinner with the guys one night and they were just saying, our wives or our parents don't know what we do. And it sounded like the CIA. And I go, lads. Then we came up with the idea. So that's why the book is out. And the slagging I'm getting from my pals. And I said, I'm moving to Elba after this.
No, but it's tremendous because, I did a bit for you in Argentina a few months, but it's clear the places between Targa, Viva, Mexico. Yeah. You've done amazing things that people just associate with Ryanair.
Yeah.
But the formula that's been put in place for a lot of other people in other parts of the world, in Vietnam with Targa, it's incredible.
Well, Mick made the joke once. Mick O'Leary said that I should get the Guinness Book of Records for being a nutcase setting up so many low-cost airlines.
Yeah, but obviously he gave you a buzz.
Oh, yeah.
And you're very clear in the book, you wanted people who were there
Well, you
to
saw
be
the bit with Tom Lyons, and he was helping a woman with her seatbelt. And my favourite story about that, and I'm going to get shot again for this, is I was flying out of Knock once, and all the girls were saying, hiya, Dec, and, the cabin attendants. And, they're not meant to, but they're saying, you like a cup of coffee before everybody else, right? And we're just about to take off. And the beautiful woman beside me, probably grandmother in her 70s and so on. And she leaned over and she said,
who are you?
No. She said, do you know the Ryans? And I said, I do. She said, by the way, are they Catholic? Right? I said, they are. I can promise you that. She slept for the rest of the flight.
Yeah.
I was the one nervous. But isn't it gas,
And does fame and notoriety mean anything?
No.
I mean, I know personally it means nothing, but you always go under the cover of darkness nearly if you could. Like, you've never been a person to give interviews, talk about your life.
Yeah.
Unless you really had to.
Doing it a little bit at the moment, but that's more related to giving out about school. And also, that's Jack Kavanagh's fault, which I keep reminding him of. And I think this story had to be, like, you and I are both huge believers in storytellers. So I like telling stories, but I much prefer to hear other people tell stories,
Is there another story to tell after this book? What's your plan? You're just going to float along?
I'm going to go quiet for a long time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You're hardly going to do nothing.
Oh, Jesus, no. Electric aviation is what we'll do next.
That's right.
Yeah. And I love the publishing. It's fun. We have a book, we'll talk about it another time, Ross. We have a book coming out next year about loneliness. And it's the guy who's writing it is a guy called Chris Flack. He's an amazing individual. We've decided to make it a guidebook. We're not going to have a big tome of writing about what loneliness is.
Yeah.
It's more like if you live in Lewisburg, which I love, and you're a bit worried about your mum, you kind of go, well, if I did this with mum, or if we did, a bit of I don't want to say self-help, but a guide to loneliness, because that's our new mental health. It's a real issue.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long time since I called $24 to see if there's anybody in the house down in Kilboy.
Yeah.
It's come a long way. And what would your quote be to other people? Is there a way you would sum up as someone you go to quote for a young person said, Dec, what about business? Any advice or tips or suggestions you would give?
I'd send it off to two other people. I love Bill Clinton. He said, don't take criticism personally. Take it seriously. I think that's really good because most of us take it personally. And I love the other one recently from Tony Blair. He said, don't hold a grudge. You're laughing. You're laughing at me, right? And we're both thinking about people and so on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you think about it, if you're a leader or a prime minister, if you hold a grudge, let's say, I'm just making a guess here because he doesn't say this in the book, but if Blair held a grudge about Northern Ireland, he wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into the Middle East, but you could easily hold a grudge in the Middle East. So those are the two bits of advice.
And being an entrepreneur, somebody said to you, what's your recollection of being an entrepreneur? Is this...
Oh, that would be, I'm quoting all the presidents. George W. said, turn up every day.
Yeah. And you think that's the secret?
Oh, listen, Russell, come on. The amount of times you and I either, not feeling well, tired, maybe too many beers, and it was too easy just not to show up.
Yeah.
There is something about showing up every day,
And being Irish is nothing different. You just have to be there.
I think we're better at it.
Yeah.
I think we're really good.
When I went to work in Boston, I felt you had to perform faster and higher because if you're in late on Monday, or I played rugby coming to Bruce, they presumed you were in a fight, a drunken fight, so you had to work harder to prove the point.
Yeah.
And it took a long time before you got over that. The self-guilt of being Irish in the good old days, it was tough. Now, that might be not the case, but I always remember you had to work harder, longer.
Boston's a bit of a quagmire, isn't it?
It's very waspish.
Yeah, and you think 40% are students. You think of MIT and Harvard and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of parts of Boston that...
They're not that way. Yeah, exactly. The tough
There's
parts.
certain roads I shouldn't have gone down.
Yeah, down and Southie in different places. It's a big city.
Yeah.
But,
and the Irish are tough there.
Yeah, and they weren't always like there, as we know. So being Irish is something that I've always carried with precaution.
Yeah.
Until I always remember this landing in Las Vegas one time, and U2 came on the radio. That was mid-90s.
Lovely.
And suddenly, you felt, maybe this is a cool moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In Colombia, we used to use Roy Keane, but now we use U2.
And you spend most of your time in Colombia, do you?
Half and half. But it's a great country, and I'm very lucky to be able to go down there and get run away from the kids said to me, when do I go down? I said, when the weather's shit here. So
if you're doing this in Colombia, you'd be margarita and we'd be invited.
Yeah, exactly.
Declan Ryan, thank you for joining us today on Ireland.
Yeah, thank you, sir.